Well, here we go. It is Final Fantasy V Spoof. That's right, Final Fantasy V Spoof, one of the oldest and most well-known of the Final Fantasy V hacks. There are sadly few hacks of Final Fantasy V. I know there are, a couple of notable ones. This one is one that's been kicking around, believe it or not, more than a decade now. The README first was created in 2002 and references a place called Zophar's Domain, where you can still find this hack of Final Fantasy V and of some of the few other ones that are available. ROMhacking.net also is a nice source for hacks of all kinds of games. Final Fantasy Spoof is spoof. Oof. Already we're making mistakes. I am recording this one as I play it. Normally I record in post, but because I know Final Fantasy V so well, I'm going to record this one as we go through in, I guess, traditional Let's Play fashion. I won't have to be looking anything up because according to the README of this patch, very little to nothing has been changed in terms of the systems of the game, and I like to think that I know them pretty well after doing as many Final Fantasy V 4-job Fiesta runs as I have, and I really enjoyed this game. This was the very first, I suppose you could say this is the first ROM hack of a game I ever played, and probably many people's first ROM hack of a game. Way back in the days of old ZSNES emulation, when the patch of this game came out, the English patch of this game by the RPGe. It was credited to RPGe. I believe that ended up being a team of people. At the time, it was not known by me and some of the other people in very early forms of message boards who he, she, or they were, or even if it was a he, she, or a they. I should say, do mind the NSFW, that is the not safe for work tag on this video. Do note that, because this spoof is a text-only spoof, and it gets pretty M-rated, I think you could say safely. It's a bit of a shift from my normal routine here. So happy to see that the dialogue is indeed in English, and already off to the crack house again. So I can see that we might be playing through a rather juvenile. Oh, there we go. Oh, it gets real dirty real fast. Okay. I will keep the commentary of this safe for work. I will try to keep the commentary safe for work, but the text of this game is a little bit against my style guide in NSFW. But it is important, I think, to have a Let's Play of this spoof out there, juvenile as it is. We'll get it out there and going, and we'll see if I can make it all the way through. Just imagine that it's 2002, and if I put myself back in the mindset that I was in 2002, I think I will do just fine with this spoof hack. Could be interesting maybe to play a 4-job Fiesta run on this patch. Of course, all kinds of emulation and hacks of this game are strongly discouraged and officially not allowed in the Fiesta, although it certainly does happen. A number of people do use lots of different Final Fantasy V versions. Technically, the English translation of the Super Famicom version is a patch that should be disqualified. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Ferris. So we are going to just kind of enjoy this juvenile game as it unfolds. I am going to try to do this in a not 100% format of the game, but I will be kind of crawling through all of the dungeons, including most or all of the bonus content or the side quests in World 3. Those things that I normally skip on most Fiesta runs, because they're really, really not necessary to beat the game. But there's also very little text in them. There's also very little dialogue. You just maybe say a few words to some bosses, and then you are clued into where the next optional dungeon is. They're kind of gated in World 3. They're gated to where you have to do them in a specific order, which is kind of unfortunate. I wish that it did kind of open up, as JRPGs are supposed to do in the final world. It's supposed to be an open world by the time you've gotten all of your mobility back, but World 3, you're kind of getting your mobility back, so it kind of acts like an Act 2 would be. Here we meet Bartz or Butts. Can't wait to see what his default name is. We won't learn that here for a moment until our meteor crashes. And here it comes. This is the meteor at Tycoon. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Again, this being a spoof hack, the dialogue in this game is pretty dry, I will say. There's not a whole lot of color to it. The translation by the RPGe crew was done kind of just enough to make it serviceable. But they didn't really add any extra flair or flavor. There's a few instances where we have some pop up, but not very much. Okay, oh, look, we have a little Snoop Dogg there at the end. All right. Let's, yeah, so we have not named him yet, can we? Yeah, we can do the system. We can get our speed to slow and message speed up to fast. I do want memory, not reset. And let's go ahead and make this one a black menu game. There we go. Going kind of contrary to the Super Famicom, Super NES era Final Fantasy's blue background. I guess even Final Fantasy VII defaulted to that Final Fantasy blue. This one I'm hoping to get up through the Wind Shrine for this opening part, since about 8 minutes of this opening game are just this kind of prologue sequence. Well, I guess we're over 8 minutes already because I watched the full title sequence to see if there was any translated Easter eggs there in the opening sequence, but that text is stored differently than just the menu text here. Okay, I suppose not. Okay, we do meet Lena, and this is very sweet Lena's theme. Love Lena's theme. All right, and it does default to Butts, so let's go ahead and just leave it right there. I'm surprised that the default was not changed. Ooh, 3,000, huh? Nice. Okay. Oh, Butts, not that kind of guy. Sorry, that's too bad. I love this little bass. The little bass slide. Boo-doo-doo, boo-doo-doo, boom. And again, because this is an exploratory of the text of this game, I won't be mashing through text. I will be allowing it to be read for anybody who would like to experience this spoof or get a taste of it. Okay. Customers waiting. All right, here's where we first meet Galef. And the text windows have an interesting texture on them. I am not quite sure what the dealio is with that. I'm not sure why there's a texture there. As far as I know, as far as I remember, there is not a kind of pattern or texture in the menu backgrounds. And Galef has crash landed in this meteor from his home planet. Okay, and yes, Galef has a tough time with his name. There's that little bass slide again. Do 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 do. All right, hooligans at the corner. Thank you, Lena. All right. Oh, there's a fun new word, naked. Okay. I guess I didn't. Ha. Lots of gil, too. All right. Okay, no thanks from Butts. No thanks. Just imagine it's 2002, everybody. Just imagine it's 2002. Oh boy. All right. There's a hidden phoenix down in here. I also understand the item names have been changed. We're about to find out our first item name change, or not. Okay, Phoenix Down has been kept the same. So I'll be discovering this kind of as we roll along. Oh, Key, look at that. We have an FF5 cartridge. So we know that we know that we're all good and legal because we do have a legal copy of the FF5 cartridge. Okay, so that there we restores hit points. Phoenix Down recovers the wounded. Gets me there. Key items. It looks like I'm not allowed to inspect that and get a description. But the FF5 cartridge is all good, everybody. It is all good. I'll be able to walk faster once I unlock the Thief class, and I will be making use of that, so I'm not going to be just gently strolling around this entire world. This game kind of predates auto B dashing. Later versions of this game, like the GBA port, or it's not really a port, the GBA version, it's a built from scratch version of this game. That had auto B dashing. The PlayStation version, the really bad, threatening Boko. The really, really bad, that's a little bit more of a port and a horrible translation. Horrible translation. Oh, Boko actually doing some talking here. That's, okay. Yeah, so maybe Butts is a prude like me. And not as into the high school level humor that we have here. All right. This seems like this would fit well into some modern gaming circles. That could fit in the old RPGe translation. Let's hightail it north. Okay, well, only one direction to go. A couple of goblin fights here. And these are just hold A fights. And I could have turned up the battle speed to fast probably for these battles. But battle speed really more influences the enemy's ATB bar. So it doesn't really speed battles up so much as it does kind of speed enemies up. So you're really better off, if you want it a little bit easier, turning the speed down. And I always keep that down. Some speedrunners do use certain tricks with the battle speed. I guess I should see what the winning text prompt is there to see if that's changed. I normally hold A during that. I hope I can remember to do that at least once before the end of part 1 here. And so where you thought that we weren't going to see these guys again, you have to save them from the earthquake and the goblins. Kind of a dual threat right there. I'm not sure why the goblins are attacking when they are just as... okay, there you go. Learned something about Galef. When they are just as threatened by the earthquake as your characters would be. Although it's not good to try to think too much about these games. This is the other, it's not the love theme, but it's another of 50 years old. I think Galef's looks a little bit more than 50. So again, if you are watching this at work, I will keep my commentary SFW, but the text of the game is definitely not SFW. So watch with caution. All right, there we go. And Boko, man, Boko is really laying it on there, Boko. All right, what's really important, Butts? Okay, now that is true for the player and for these characters. The meteor has blocked the eastern path back to Castle Tycoon. Okay, Galef. Yeah, that laugh goes along with it, although normally he makes some other lousy crack there. Oh, that's a 2002 bit of text. Be a lot of good screen grabs for this, probably. Probably there would be some interesting screen grabs that could go on a tweet. Or maybe these could be GIF-worthy. Maybe these could be GIF-worthy. So it could be that my my LP series of this game could result in a good number of GIFs or screenshots grab. Feel free to screen grab or GIF anything that you find in here, by the way. It will be going to the standard YouTube license, but feel free to screen grab and GIF anything you see here. Maybe I'll upload this to Internet Archive as well. Although I have my commentary on it. I don't know, I'll think about that later. Meanwhile, we've got to go to the Pirate's Cave. Hello, Pirate's Cave. And Boko does not want to come in. Okay, thank you, Galef, for that. Yeah, Boko, normally just STFU. There we go. There's a good grab. There's a good screen grab. So many of them in here. Maybe this hack will grow on me, or maybe I will feel grosser and grosser the more we play it. So I'm going to see if any equipment names have been changed. He's got the broadsword. She's got the knife. And he's got nothing. Now, I think what I normally do is this. And Galef is going to be empty. Let's see if these enemies are still the same. Steel Bat, okay, Steel Bat's still the same. I believe she'll kill the first one. I moved the broadsword over to Lena because at this point in the game, she has the highest agility and thus will act first. Galef is the slowest, so that's why I leave him weaponless and naked. Not to be too crude, I do leave Galef weaponless though. It does say victory. It does not. It's not been changed, and it does not say yes with about 5 S's like the PlayStation version does. And I'll often run away from these battles here in the cave, but we'll just kind of take a look at them as we go through, especially these ones that I can win in 2 quick rounds. Now there's the knife weapon. I think that's the lowest it can do. Okay, there's a level up in the flashing text boxes there. Here we get a prompt with the water. Oh, okay. There we go. There's a... That's been changed. And a battle right on the recovery tile. Let's see what it says when we get away. Okay, just ran away. Nothing changed there. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, whatever. But that... if that text prompt, from a practical standpoint, if that text prompt is that long every time we use a recovery spring, that actually is going to discourage me from wanting to use them. If it's that same bit of text and I have to push the A button through 4 or 5 menus to finish using a recovery spring, that's going to not be an incentive for me to want to use it. Yeah, but I believe the knife there can do 14, 16, 18, or 20. The way the damage formula works out, where knives can do a kind of limited range of attack. Swords do have an attack that rolls a random number between their attack value and 125% of their attack value, but daggers add 0 to 3 to that attack value. I hate you so much, says Butts. Okay. And we're very close to unlocking that thief class, everybody, I promise. And getting that. That's probably going to be the end of part 1 here. I'm going to talk to everybody in the Tool Village before we finish the Wind Shrine, before we get there. And again, because this this series is going to be more about discovering dialogue. I wasted a bunch of steps there. Wasted a bunch of steps. And after the Wind Shrine, we unlock our first set of jobs. And I should have redistributed my attacks. I should have had Lena go after the bat. The bat has some defense. But Galef, I think, will take out the Stroper with the crit there. No, will not quite get him with the crit. It's too bad. She'll definitely take out the bat. And butts the Stroper. Okay. And there would have been such an easy dialogue change there. Stroper is just right there. Stroper is just right there. All right. We have a little bit. We have to watch. The story point here has kind of been taken out of the... introductory sequence there, which is mostly just about Lena being a sex worker, I guess. Is that the wind has stopped in this world, and so ships don't sail anymore. But they look out the window and see that there is a ship sailing somehow, and that's the point there. So sad not to see that that's not been explained. I know this probably is made for people who have played the game before, but if I was going to make a full dialogue spoof of this, I would at least make it. Oh boy. Okay. I would at least make it to where the story could still make sense on its own without needing prior knowledge of the game. Oh boy. Yep. Just remember it's 2002. And and this would have been right about the time that the Tinky Winky accusations were coming out. When the Teletubby Tinky Winky was accused by a lot of conservative social groups of being gay because of the telling signs of the purple triangle antenna on his head and his color purple. Let's rock, says Butts. God, it's been so long since I played this game that it feels good. Nope, there we go. Ferris goes right with it. I hope me sighing and scoffing isn't too annoying. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Maybe my authentic reactions will be something to enjoy. Oh, Lena. Be curious to see. I don't know if the author of this patch, and I certainly don't mean to besmirch the author of this patch when I criticize the level of humor, or the fact that we left out the story point there. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. But I would be curious to see if I would guess that the author of this did not change any of the jump surprises there that those characters do. Or if the author had to, oh boy, the refried guide. Okay, this is cheese lovin'. Okay, it'd be curious. It'd be interesting if they had to write it around some animations. So they had to kind of punctuate their dialogue. Oh, ocular. Yeah, so like that little animation there, that little movement, and the jump surprise, and like the twinkle is definitely there. Okay, this is where they recognize the pendant, and then there's kind of a there's a scene here that we're gonna see where Ferris sees the pendant and remembers her past. Ferris is right now, and I guess that's made clear in this. Ferris is actually a woman who is pretending to be a man living as a male pirate, and it's not really a story of gender identity so much as someone who had to escape and live as a pirate and assume a different identity to survive. But in the woke days of 2017, this just is very quaint. This is very Duke Nukem. This is very Duke Nukem level, and I would have been playing Duke Nukem right about the same time I was playing the first versions of this, and when I would have been enjoying this one. Now, I believe it was the RPGe translation of this came out. It was 98 maybe, or 99, and that would have been right around when I got my computer, and I discovered my family got a computer that could download emulators, and I discovered that there was such a thing as emulators and big packs of ROMs that you could find. Although they weren't as, the pendant. Satsu, my pimp Satsu. I'm not sure if that's a reference to somebody. Shatsu? I don't know. I don't know if that's supposed to be a, I'm not sure how that name is supposed to be pronounced. It is all in lowercase letters. This is where Ferris looks at her own pendant that matches Lena's and considers her connection to Ferris, or to Lena. I'll sell it. There we go. And is that the only thought? Okay, I guess that's the only thought. Thank you, Ferris. Okay. On we go. This is where the captain does order the prisoners to be released. In the real game, it's because Ferris recognizes the connection to Lena and wonders about that. And decides to take them wherever they want to go. So this first part is going to be very dialogue heavy, since we're going through the opening parts here and going to be fighting the first boss and going to the first town. The plot in this game is very much front-loaded. Like a lot of things in this game, it's very much front-loaded. The town design is a lot more thoughtful. In the first few towns of World 1, there's a lot more hidden treasure and things in the first few towns. After that, it becomes pretty sparse. So it is clear, or it's I guess it's up for debate, but it's to me it's clear that the designers spent a lot more time thinking about the early parts of this game, and once the game gets kind of rolling, they really built it around interesting bosses and interesting mechanics, which is totally fine with me. Totally fine with me. All right, here's where we meet Sildra. This is how that ship is able to sail. Without the wind, it is Ferris's friend. I guess it's not really a pet master relationship. I believe that they're friends and they grew up together. But Sildra's name, it looks like, is Bino. Later on, you get Sildra as a summon, and I wonder if that Bino has been carried over consistently to your summon menu. I don't think I'll remember to check that or consider that when we get off to World 3 later on, so look forward to not finding that out. All right, and here is where you get a prompt where the assistant asks if you want him to sail for you. Let me turn the wheelie, and you tell him, you can tell him no thanks. But he can take you directly to the Wind Shrine, but we are not going to go there right now. We're going to go to Tool Village. And we will talk to the folks in Tool Village first. Ferris leaves your party when you're in the village here because the pirates all jump into the pub. And in the... Okay. Shazbot, reference to Mork and Mindy. In the RPGe translation, they're after grog, 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 grog. In the GBA version, I think they're after beer or ale. I think they're able to say it. It's been a while since I've done that one. All right. Okay, it's not quite a limerick. That is not quite a limerick. The rhyming scheme does not quite work out. Once was a man from Nantucket. So Tool Village here, we have a number of little hidden gems. I'm shuddering to think of what the pub show looks like here, but we will take a look. Yeah. And actually hasn't been changed that much. This is a pretty racy part of the regular game. So nothing really has changed with the animation there. It says special service in the Super NES version. And can you talk to him? No, all we can say is that this guy is watching or peeking. There's a little guy. You can see a couple of pixels of green there. Yeah, and that's what I would have put in there if I was going to be making a hack of this, because I think it's pretty clear that that man is supposed to be kind of pervy. This is the first of the 8 pianos that you have to play to learn the last couple of songs for the Bard class. And as you play each piano, you get a little bit better, and you play, you end up playing some real music, some actual music by Debussy and others. I think there's a Bach piece back there later. This is an optional scene that you can turn on. I almost always skip it. Well, these days I do always skip it. And we get some interesting... Yeah, okay, so so the author of this patch did find this dialogue and change it up. But again, the tone has not really been shifted much, where both these guys come in and see Ferris sleeping. They kind of peep in on her sleeping and are surprised that they have romantic feelings stirring in them. So the tone is there, and that's why the first part of Final Fantasy V might be well open to a spoof kind of hack like this. And then Ferris locks herself into the room. And I believe it says lock, yes. So that's that little scene you can unlock. Again, it's totally optional. It doesn't do anything for the game. And we are going to talk to as many people as we can. Okay, the pirate stuff. Okay, the pirate stuff it's pretty pretty backwards. Oh, there we go. So we go from there we go. This beer tastes kind of funny. We've made it. Check that off. Okay. Let's go back out, talk to those folks already, and I'll just try to get all the townspeople. Okay, so he takes you to the beginner's house. Okay, Satsu. Oh, he's a pimp. Okay, so Satsu. All right, so Satsu. Maybe he is Zoc, the one who lives in the house up there. All right, I guess I'm unfamiliar with that particular act. Now that's a little insensitive to people with real mental illness. I'm noticing a lot of zeros in place of O's. Okay, so Satsu. Satsu, could that be King Tycoon? Could that be who Satsu is? Or would Satsu be Zoc up here? All right. Also not very sensitive to people with mental illness. But hey. Okay, and I'm wondering, is that a... Okay, so that is just a potion. So on the menu, it's sack of weed, but in the menu here, it is just weed. Okay, I understand. Visker. So Satsu must be King Tycoon. Okay, every Tuesday night. Satsu must be King Tycoon. No problem. And we'll talk to him later, actually. We'll talk to him after we beat the first boss because he's not there right now. We have to beat the first boss before we can pop in and see him. And by then I'll have the Thief class unlocked, so we'll be able to have a little bit more fun. Actually, no, I'm going to go without that. I'm going to save my money. I'll do my shopping after we take care of the first boss, Wing Raptor. Are you guys lame? So she's asking you if we're beginners. This is the beginner's house, where beginners come to learn. Oh, is that Satsu? Okay, so that is Satsu. Okay, so there's a real tip. And there is some more immature jokes. Okay, so we watch a little demonstration here. How to change rows. Gotta be thorough. Ooh, Zophar. There is a reference to Zophar's domain. Good old Zophar. And that site is still up, by the way. Maybe someone will emulate one for him. Oh, there is a good screen grab. There's a good screen grab. Okay, is this how you change your... Yeah, change your party leader? There we go. And yes, you can indeed do that. Have whoever you'd like at the top. Smoka. That's not quite a sentence. Okay. Well, there was something. Boko. This is where Boko explains the job system. Yeah, this is where Boko explains the job system. Okay, so... okay. So we go by, we're going by the sprite. The job classes go by what the sprites look like. And also pretty insensitive here in the world of 2017. Okay, thank you, Boko. Here's where we learn about what we can and cannot equip. It's too bad that Black Mage is that one, because I would like to use a Black Mage, but I do not want to. I'd rather keep this juvenile, but not outright racist. Oh boy. Let's see what Klepto Churchy. Totally fine with Churchy. Totally fine with Churchy. And Klepto is good. Alright, so Boko definitely pretty saucy. Alright, so this is just the long tutorial. You can normally skip this after you get the job system, and I'll be fine. Oh no, I don't want to hear Boko's talk. Blaine. I wonder if that's a real person. A few notable items in here. There's, here we go. Lamest in the lame. Acid dose. What's that again? What's an acid dose? Let's see. Stores MP. All right, so acid dose is an ether. Of course, ether is a wonderful little thing. If you imagine a mage there high on ether. Okay, so we got 4s and O's replacing letters. Was that a thing? Was that a 2002 thing? Okay. Okay. That's a nice little story. Sir, my skills give me ROMs. I'll hack your computer. Okay. Okay, awesome. Nice. Brazil. Okay. There's a little shot at Brazilians. Yep. So definitely a few. Okay. Definitely a few references to real people. This is a guarded treasure box with a goblin in it. We're gonna run away because I'm gonna save that box for later. We can talk about that later. I'm gonna save it for some chicken knife charging later on. So we'll take care of that later. Actually, I want to see what she says when you tell her you are not a lamer. She gets mad. Elitist jerks. Okay, she does throw you out. No problems there. Okay, on to the Wind Shrine. We have to acknowledge Ferris here. Nope. Yeah, I'm not sure if Ferris says, "Did you miss me?" or something in that one normally. So a few more people to talk to, and a boss to beat, and then we'll finish up here for part 1. It's already gone about twice as long as what I'd like to have these segments go. But with all that introductory stuff and the fact that I walk so slowly and that we're talking to everybody, it's been taking longer. They will pick up in pace later on. These are the priests of the Wind Shrine. And King Tycoon. Okay, yes. King Tycoon normally goes to the Wind Shrine. That's what he gets on the Wind Drake for at the beginning and flies away. And again, I think that's just timed to the time to the animation. Ferris just wants to loot the shrine. It's not too bad, making Ferris a bad guy as well. Penal royalty, huh? All right. Oh. Okay, now that's the kind of okay. There's a screen grab that kind of sums up this whole hack. That screen grab would kind of sum up this whole hack. All right. Probably 3 or 4 battles on the way up here as I pick up some of these items. And again, these aren't necessary items or anything real spectacular. There is one broadsword up here that I will pick up. Goblin Punch, that does not get the 8 times multiplier for being at the same level as the target, thankfully. Otherwise, Ferris would have eaten it, and we would have had to go back downstairs. Does this still say the same thing? It It's just a save point. So interesting, because it seems like there are more text boxes. I'm looking at this from a standpoint of programming this. I think there's nothing up here. Oh, there is. This is where there is something. It's nothing that I usually don't go up there and get that. That's why. Okay, so I am out of stuff. Ferris with the dagger is very good. The dagger is, at some points, depending on the level of your character, can be better than the broadsword. Depends on if you get another multiplier or not. And then there's the whole knife bug glitch thing. I won't go to explain in this one. It's been explained in very, very heavy detail in other videos of mine and of many other players. All right, so now I've got a weapon in everybody's hand. We're all level 3. We're a level higher than we really need to be. Let's get this one out of the way. And this is our first boss. Okay, I think it just says "watch out" in the RPGe translation. And if we get good luck on damage, we can just about hold down A and just do a 1 cycle on this gas raptor. I guess it's not the wing raptor. But I don't think... Pass gas. All right, so that is wind. The wind attack. I don't know why it's leaving me. The Geomancer attacking you. Yeah, so that's a 1 cycle wing raptor right there. Easy peasy. Because I got to that level, so we did a little more damage. Got everybody. And if you get everybody armored up and weaponed up, you can take that down even quicker. All right, so this is going to be the final cutscene of part 1 here. We'll get our first jobs. Gale Cut, it's called in the RPGe translation. Wind Slash, it's called in the GBA translation. Wow, I'm not sure why it was that hard to dig up. Or Breath Wing. Maybe it's Breath Wing, because that one is a percentage attack. Might be Breath Wing. That is a 25% attack. I think it is Breath Wing. My memory is going to be tested on this one, having to identify things just from the look of them after not having played the game for a few months. But I think that is Breath Wing and not Wind Slash. So it does 25% of your max hit points. So if you do 4 of those in any battle, it will kill anything. Except it does have to obey the damage cap. So you can use it against Neo X Death, but it only does 9999 to each part of the body. It does not do 15,000 as it would need to do, or close to that for some of those parts. So here's where we're getting imbued with the elements of the crystals. Butts gets the wind element, Galef gets the earth element, etc. Ferris gets fire, and I think Lena gets water. And that's what kind of ties them to the elements, and that's what, when they get the gladiator class in the advanced jobs, their finisher element is tied to the element they receive in this part of the game. So this is okay. So this is the king's spirit. He supposedly was killed in here, but he comes back to kind of tell us about the spirits of the warriors in the crystal. And the king does have to leave us. So, okay. I guess that must have been a 2002 thing. JAX0R. I understand what it means now, but I do not remember seeing or hearing that particular phrase in 2002. And I probably saw a lot of phrases for that particular thing in 2002, but none of them were that. Oh boy. Okay. So we are imbued with the power of the crystals and have unlocked our first set of jobs. So some of this is, what is with the 0R? So some of this is still approachable today. I would say most of it is pretty dated and and pretty despicable generally. But I suppose that doesn't mean that it should not be preserved somewhere in the internet. All right, so we'll take our exit. We'll tell Boko we don't want to see his job tutorial, and we'll finish it up. So if you did like this video, or if you like this this hack, do get that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't. This is not typically what the this is where he's going to make fun of butts. That would be the same tutorial, by the way. So if you did like this one, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe. Look at what else is on here. It is not all as despicable as this, and it is all safe for work except for this one generally. Lots of Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 5, and other games here on the channel. Hit me up on Twitter where I'm also active_ATE. Stay tuned for the rest of this series, but also do check out my past LP series of other less iffy ROM hacks of Final Fantasy games. We will see you next time for the Torna Canal.